All right. Hey, this is Tobin Wagstaff. Doing a 5-minute drum lesson today. And one of the things I've been wanting to address for a long time, because it's just one of my things, is how to set up a stand. And this is like any kind of stand, like a snare stand or a cymbal stand, um, double tom stand, or whatever it is. So in this case, I'm using a snare stand. And this goes for whether you're doing standing up percussion, like concert snare drum, or sitting down at a drum set. And the same principles I talk about here is also how I deal with like floor toms and bass drums and things of that nature. The first thing that always comes to my mind, just because it's sort of a pet peeve of mine when I'm playing percussion, is I absolutely hate it when I got a bunch of stuff next to my feet. I absolutely hate it. I hate stepping on stands. I hate kicking them by mistake when I walk around them, or if I'm sitting at a drum set and I got a bunch of stands with the two legs like this facing me. It's just really cluttery on the floor, and I like having plenty of space. Especially if I have like bottled water or my keys or my wallet and things like that I'm trying to put down somewhere. I don't like having these legs here. So I'm going to take the snare drum off. And so the first thing that I always do is I take the stand base, and so by the base of it I mean the bottom part of the stand here, and I like to turn it so I have one leg facing me right there and two legs away from me. Now I suddenly have a lot more space than I did before. So that's the first thing I do. Now, when I'm dealing with the bass here and the adjustments on it, this is a fairly small leg here, so you can extend it all the way out, and it doesn't take up very much space. But if I had a bigger stand with bigger legs, sometimes I'll squeeze them in a little bit like that, just to get the legs out of my way. Now, if I got big, heavy stuff on here, and I need the stability of spreading it out more, then that's fine with me. But I try to balance out those two issues. It's just having a bunch of these on my side of the stand is just a real annoying thing to me. Okay, so and then for looks, I usually will just put the clamping mechanism on the opposite side of me. But also, I feel like it helps me to have a little bit easier time adjusting it, because I just put my hand back here and turn it, and then my left hand I'll use to hold it in place. Or if it's this piece, I'll hold this in place with my left hand and then tighten and loosen on the back with my right hand. Okay, so on this particular snare drum stand, you have a couple of issues to consider. You have an offset snare basket, which can create an issue. Now, if I'm just playing concert snare drum, it doesn't matter. But the first thing I like to do is I like to tilt this, or not tilt it, turn it, so I have the majority of the hardware away from me. For the same reason, I like to have plenty of space in front of me when I'm playing, so I don't hit things by accident. So I'm going to raise this just a little bit. So obviously you're going to raise it to the height that you want it and tighten it down. Alright, so what I've done here is I've taken this offset basket and I've made sure to set it up so that the tilt is forward and back, because this is how I play. I know not everybody plays this way, but this is how I play. So the tilt is set up so it's forward and back. Okay, now if I put it in this position, let me turn it sideways so you can see. I now have the maximum ability to tilt forward, or sorry, back towards me. But I don't have as much room to tilt away from me. So that might be important to you. If you need this drum to reach closer to you, you might just turn the stand around. But the issue is, now you may not have the tilt towards you that you might want. So I'm not saying that my way with really any of this is the right way. This is just what I do. So let's summarize what I've talked about so far. Having one leg towards me, two legs away from me to maximize the amount of floor space I have in front of me. I always put the clamping thing right in the back. It's visually more appealing to me as a player to see a clean look, and it's easy for me to just reach back here and adjust this while I use my other hand to raise and lower it. And then I take the snare drum basket adjustment and make sure that it can tilt forward, or rather back towards me and away from me. I like that positioning quite a bit. Some players like a drum tilting to the side. I don't see that a whole lot anymore these days, but some players do like that. So this is just with a snare stand. And so other issues like cymbal stands and stuff, I'll talk about that in some other video. But this is how I deal with pretty much all my basses on all my stands. So if this was a floor tom, I would have one floor tom leg towards me and two away from me. Okay, my name is Tobin Wagstaff. Visit me at tobinwagstaff.com, facebook.com/tobinwagstaffmusic, or youtube.com/tobinwagstaffmusic, and thanks for viewing.